Hi guys, it's Bruce. So recently on my channel, I did a poll asking you guys what kind of videos would you like me to start posting more of on my channel, and I gave the options of games, programming, blogs, Wizards and Warrior tutorials, or other. So I gave it a few days, and the polls come back, and I've got a tie between Wizards and Warriors and gameplay. And the other categories of programming and blog, they also got votes, just not as much. So I figured I'd give an update on what my plans are. Well, first I'd like to start with, obviously, the blog. A blog is really easy to do, so I went ahead and I made this video here that you're watching. This is my blog video to just get that one out of the way. I will do more Wizards and Warriors tutorial videos. For those of you who don't know, and I will provide a link in the channel description. But for those of you who don't know, I have been making Wizards and Warrior tutorial videos, and I believe I've done a playthrough of the crypt and all the quests around the crypt. I've done a playthrough of the Serpent Temple and all the quests around the Serpent Temple. And so right now, in the quest tutorials that I'm making, I'm at doing all the quests around Ishad-Na and heading towards the Sharugian ruins in the tutorials. And so while I can very quickly get the local area quest created, like the Ishad-Na quest, doing the Sharugian ruins video is going to take time, because the Serpent Temple, that took a lot of time too. Just, gathering all the quests, doing all the quests, and then in my video editing, labeling everything that I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So that takes time, but I will get it done. When it comes to the game playthroughs, I can tell you that this month, supposedly, Dominion 6 is going to be coming out, and that is a game I've been very much looking forward to. And so I will do a stream of that game. But I do know that I've streamed Dominions 5 on this channel before, and nobody really seemed to care. So I don't expect that I'm going to do a lot of Dominion 6 videos, which leads me to the question of what games do you want me to do gameplay videos of? Because right now the only real game that I'm playing off and on is World of Warcraft, and currently I'm doing some Season of Discovery stuff, and I'm just doing my usual in Wrath Classic, just leveling tunes and doing heroics. So that might be a little boring to you guys. So if you have game suggestions for those of you who voted for game playthroughs, please feel free to leave a comment on what games you'd like to see. When it comes to the programming videos that I make, I've got lots of programming ideas of what I want to work on. So I know whatever video I make, I want it to be something where I can make a lot of effort and get a lot done during the video so that you can see the progress. I don't want to take on something that's going to take 30 streams before you even see anything change, So some of the ideas I've come up with are working on my website, because I always have some ideas of improvements I want to make to my website. Adding more improvements to my Twitch bot, like adding more backgrounds, because as you see, currently I've got this nice Earthbound background going on, but I've made other ones like this one here. Now, I didn't do the art. My friend did the art, so thank you for that. But basically, it's outer space with stars floating by. The only downside of this one is when it's a black screen, you can kind of see the white fuzz at the top from the green screen. But, I can always make more backgrounds like that. That's one of the ideas I've had for the Twitch bot. And then another thing I've thought of is I've streamed programming videos before, and when I was streaming the video at the time, it seemed fine. It was just me listening to music, coding like an event system, for example. And when I exported it to YouTube, I kept getting the same kind of comments over and over, and it was generally two things. Your video is covering a great content, thank you, but the music is too fucking loud. And when I listened to the YouTube version of it, they were right. The music was too loud. And the reason I didn't catch it is because when you stream, onto Twitch, what you hear is not necessarily what the viewer hears. It depends on your OBS settings. And I didn't realize my music was too loud. And so, nobody told me, and I didn't find out till it got to YouTube when it was too late. So some of the ideas I've had for programming videos is do that video again but don't have the music too fucking loud. So that's something I've been contemplating doing there. Alright, so that covers gameplay video ideas, programming video ideas, Wizard Moria video ideas. And so now I guess, even though this is technically a blog, I should blog about something. So one thing I wanted to blog about is my sleep issues that I've been having lately. I've been struggling with sleep this year, with not necessarily falling asleep, but with staying asleep. I can fall asleep really easily. Like even now, when I feel pretty freaking wide awake, if I just get up and go to bed, within 10 minutes, I could be asleep. And that is a very wonderful gift that I have. But the problem that I have is I cannot stay asleep. When I go to sleep, I generally only sleep for about 4 hours. And so that means if I go to bed at midnight, I wake up at 4 in the morning, and I end up being tired halfway through the day. So currently my sleep is broken into a 4-hour sleep before work, and then I work, and then a 4-hour sleep after work. And it's really an annoyance that I wish I didn't have to deal with. And I've tried to come up with some solutions to that. One of them is that I just take a sleeping pill. And that does work. If I take a sleeping pill and I go to sleep, I will be knocked out for 8 hours. If you let me, I will be knocked out for 12 hours. I will just be knocked out solid, just asleep. But the problem I have with sleeping pills is, one, I don't want to become dependent on them. I don't want to take them every day to keep my sleep normal. And two, when I do take a sleeping pill, when I wake up, I feel groggy all day after that. And that causes problems when I need to do programming of stuff that requires me to really be awake. It's hard to think when you're groggy, So I don't really want to rely on that. Another solution that I've been trying to do is I take melatonin pills. And with those, sometimes they work. I generally try to take a melatonin about 30 minutes before I go to bed, and then I go to sleep. Sometimes it works, and I sleep 7 or 8 hours, and I wake up, and I feel amazing. I feel great. And then other times, I take my melatonin, I go to sleep, and I wake up 4 hours later. Like, it didn't make a difference at all. So it's really hard to tell if that's even working. But even if it does work, I don't want to take melatonin every freaking day. I don't want to become reliant on melatonin to get a good night's sleep, which is really annoying. So that's something I've been dealing with. Another issue that I'm having with my sleep is my food comas. So I am very susceptible to food comas after I eat, It's gotten to the point where I know that if I eat 30 minutes to an hour later, I'm going to be tired. And it's getting to where that's predictable, and I can plan on it. I can count on it. And so if I need to go to bed at night, and maybe I don't feel tired, I'll just go eat something real quick. And I know in 30 minutes, I'll be tired, and I'll be able to sleep. And while that might sound amazing, I have the problem of it's happening to me in the middle of a work day. It's lunchtime. I'm hungry. My stomach's grumbling, and I can't eat because I know for a fact if I eat in an hour, I'm going to be drowsy at work, and I can't be drowsy. So I'm fasting at work, and I hate it. What I usually end up doing is I've already got this biphasic sleep issue where I sleep twice a day. So I'll sleep 4 hours before work. I'll start working, and I'll fast through almost all of work. I'll fast through like the first 7 hours of work. Then I'll eat in that last hour of work, finish off my work, the food coma hits, and then I go to sleep for 4 hours after work. So, it's like the sleep problem is it's getting bad. And I also am getting very tired of fasting throughout the workday because of the food comas. So I got to figure out how to handle my sleep issues that I've been having. So that's one thing I've been dealing with. The other topic I wanted to talk about during this blog video is my 2023 experience with video games this year. I feel like 2023 has been a fantastic year for video games, and I hope that next year is just as good. Because this year we had Octopath Traveler 2, and to me, that game, Octopath Traveler 2, that was absolutely hands down the best game of the year for me. That was game of the year for me. They took everything that was wonderful about Octopath Traveler 1 and they just improved on it. And once again, they had an amazing soundtrack that I've been listening to all year. Even though I've finished Octopath Traveler 2, I'm still listening to the music. I love it. And when I played it, I streamed it. I streamed it all on Twitch. I'm pretty sure it's here on YouTube too. But when I played it, I didn't put it down until I did everything. I did every achievement. I killed every boss. I did everything, and I loved it. I loved that whole experience. So I'm very happy that I was able to get Octopath Traveler 2 this year. It was Game of the Year for me. And the best part is, that's just one game. There are a few other games this year that came out that have been amazing. So some of those are Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars is, in my opinion, Sea of Stars is like a love letter to Chrono Trigger. It has a lot of similarities to Chrono Trigger in its gameplay. Your battles take place on the map where you encounter the enemies. It's a party of 3. You've got double text, you've got triple text, you've got alternate endings, you've got New Game Plus. You have certain plot elements that are the same that I'm not going to spoil. It's just... Oh, and the composer. How could I forget this? They also invited the composer of Chrono Trigger to do a couple of tracks for the game. Not all of them, but a couple. And so it's amazing music as well. And it feels polished in the same way that Chrono Trigger feels polished. It's a wonderful game. So I would recommend, if you haven't played Sea of Stars, play Sea of Stars. Another good game that came out this year is Super Mario RPG, a remake. And it is a very faithful remake of Super Mario RPG. They didn't change anything too radically. And it was a lot of fun. And the only downside of it is, because it's such a faithful remake of the original, it was short. I was able to play the full game in 4 streams or so. And I definitely recommend that if you like Super Mario RPG, that you pick up this remake of Super Mario RPG, because it's just better than the original. I will say that I personally had some issues with Super Mario RPG Remake, in that I was using wireless controllers and I was playing through a capture card on my computer. So there was latency from the controllers and latency from the capture card that caused me to have issues with the timed attacks. But, it's something that I was able to overlook and still play through despite that. But yeah, so I definitely recommend Super Mario RPG for those who, especially if you're an RPG fan, you need to play it. Another game that I played a lot this year that I really enjoyed was Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I got that immediately because Zelda Breath of the Wild is currently my favorite Zelda, so I was definitely excited for Tears of the Kingdom. I got it out the night it came out, started playing it, and it is a lot of fun. I'd say my only real complaint about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is that to me, it felt like Breath of the Wild DLC more than a game of its own, because the engine is pretty much the same, and while the map is different and it does have an interesting twist to it, you still kind of know your way around on the surface. And the other issue I had is I didn't like the tools of Tears of the Kingdom as much as I enjoyed the tools of Breath of the Wild. I liked in Breath of the Wild having circular bombs, square bombs, stasis, tools like that. And in Tears of the Kingdom, I actually didn't really enjoy so much the super glue tool that you have that you use to build things. I've never really been a big fan of physical construction of things, so that mechanic, while cool, kind of falls flat with me. But other than that, it's a great game. If Breath of the Wild had not come out first, it would probably be my favorite Zelda, but Breath of the Wild did come out first, and it is my favorite Zelda. So like I said, the other game that I do plan on streaming soon that's coming out is Dominion 6. So that's another great game that I'm looking forward to coming out this year. I played the hell out of Dominions 5. Great game. Dominion 6, when it comes out, I assume it's going to be just as great, but we'll see. And then there's one more game that came out this year that I found to be a lot of fun. I didn't expect that, and it's not an RPG, so it doesn't really fit in my usual category. But that would be Super Mario Wonder. So Super Mario Wonder is a kind of old school 2D platformer Mario, very similar to the Super Nintendo, Super Mario World. And when I got it and played it, I have to admit, I think it is the best 2D platformer Mario I've ever played. Better than Mario 1 on the NES, Mario 2, Mario 3, and Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. So it's fun. I definitely recommend it. So, like I said, that's my full 2023 of just games that I've loved. It's been a great year for games for me, and I just really hope that 2024 can keep up with that. I know in 2024 they're releasing Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake, and I fucking love Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, so I'm totally gonna buy that on day one. And I'm hoping that thanks to Baldur's Gate 3 this year coming out and kicking ass and taking so many rewards, I'm hoping that other game developers will be like, you know what, we should make more RPGs. We should make more turn-based RPGs because people love them. People want them. There is a audience for that, So I hope that they keep making more of those. And so that's my hopes for 2024, that it will be even half as good as 2023 has been to me. So that's all I got for this blog video. I mentioned several things in this video, so if there are relevant links, I'll post them in the description below. Please feel free to add comments if you have anything to say, especially about the game playthroughs, what kind of games you would like me to play. But you can comment about anything. Other than that, you guys take care of yourselves and have a good day. Bye.